Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video we'll be diving into the much anticipated Stronghold Unreal, the next entry in the beloved castle building series from Firefly Studios. As many of you know, details about this game have been pretty scarce since its announcement during the winter update on Firefly's YouTube account. The studio mentioned they were working on something special using Unreal Engine 5, but cautioned that the game was still in early development. It's now been over 9 months and I've had plenty of time to speculate on what I would love to see in the new installment. So today, let's talk about the features I hope Firefly bring back and improve upon in Stronghold Unreal. So what do I want to see in Stronghold Unreal? First and foremost, I hope Firefly returns to the gameplay and the style of Stronghold 2. This title in the series really fleshed out castle management, making it a core part of the experience. While the latest entry, Stronghold Warlords, introduced some interesting mechanics like tea production and a temple system, many entries in the series have simplified the castle management aspects in favour of the traditional RTS gameplay. For instance, Stronghold Legends stripped away significant features like the gong and crime system of Stronghold 2 to focus on unique factions and unit variety. This trend continued with Stronghold Crusader 2, which removed weather effects and brought back the grid system that had been removed in Stronghold 3. Limiting player creativity in castle design, due to players no longer being able to rotate buildings freely. But Stronghold Unreal has a chance to bring back some of that depth and expand upon it. I'd love to see the reintroduction of crime, rats and gong from Stronghold 2. These mechanics made the game feel alive and added an extra layer to castle management that made it challenging and fun. In Stronghold 2, crime was a fun and interesting castle management system, with criminals reducing popularity and stealing resources if they weren't caught and punished. The gong system also added a gritty, humorous touch, with peasants tasked with clearing waste to prevent disease outbreaks. I pity peasants who get picked for this job. The falconer was also added to Stronghold 2, adding another complexity to castle management, with the player having to evenly spread out falconers throughout the castle to prevent rats from overpopulating, bringing down the player's popularity. In Stronghold Unreal, these systems could be brought back and expanded. For instance, maybe having high crime levels would reduce honour instead, avoiding the constant happiness penalty that frustrated some players in Stronghold 2. Plus, there could be new types of crimes like bar fights outside inns, or even murder and infidelity. The court system could also become more dynamic, with criminals standing trial and sometimes getting away with their misdeeds. Falconers and trainers could also level up or become more efficient to add extra depth to the gameplay. There's so much potential for Firefly to flesh out features from Stronghold 2 and make them even more engaging. The weather system and day and night cycle and the removal of the grid system from Stronghold 3 are all features I'd love to see reintroduced in Stronghold Unreal. Imagine the possibilities of weather effects on castle management and resource gathering. With Unreal Engine 5, rain and snow could affect production chains in interesting ways. Ox carts could get stuck in the mud or snow, slowing down production, and excessive rain could impact harvests. Plus, heat waves could overheat livestock. Players could also be given the option to create shelter or fires to keep their townfolks comfortable in challenging weather conditions. If seasons were introduced with the return of weather, this could open up cycles for food production, different weather probabilities, and even religious events like Christmas and Easter, which could boost townsfolk's happiness. These kinds of immersive seasonal effects could really enhance the castle management experience. While a renewed focus on castle management would be fantastic, I'd also like to see Firefly improve siege warfare and RTS gameplay. One gameplay feature I would love to see return from Stronghold 2 is the ability for units to garrison inside towers, using murder holes to shoot at enemies below, or to engage in combat on tower stairwells. This feature added a whole new dimension to siege warfare in Stronghold 2, making defending towers seem tactical and immersive. With Stronghold Unreal's potential for improved unit collision and upgraded graphics, this element could be fully fleshed out, enabling unique and intense combat situations inside towers, something truly rare in the RTS genre. Imagine soldiers locked in brutal close quarter fights on the narrow stairwells of towers, while archers rain down from murder holes at the enemies below. It's a feature that could allow for truly dynamic siege scenarios, letting players make the most of every defensive structure in their castle. I believe this would bring a fresh level of depth and realism to the game, creating opportunities for memorable battles and distinct gameplay. I think it would be great to see engineers from Stronghold 1 also make a return. In the original game, engineers were responsible for building and managing siege equipment, adding to the realism and immersion. They also had some fantastic lines in the game, such as this. Here comes Betty! The return of engineers could also allow for the return of boiling oil, which is a fan favourite. that added a tactical edge to defence. Timing and oil drop just right had the potential to wipe out large swathes of the enemy forces, making for a fun and fulfilling addition to gameplay in castle sieges. Sieges could also be made a lot more dynamic with the reintroduction of weather effects and the day and night cycle from Stronghold 3, as mentioned previously in the video. Troops could get slowed down by rain or snow, in particular heavy units such as men-at-arms and pikemen. Snow and rain could also make surfaces slippy, meaning units can slip and fall from ladders and castle walls. Similar to in the Total War series where units fell from walls and ladders, really adding to the overall feel and enjoyment of watching battles in the game. Weather could also affect siege equipment, putting cannons out of action and affecting how far catapults and trebuchets could fire. Units could also have to carry torches for night battles, and line of sight for the defensive player could be decreased. The potential for these effects in Unreal Engine 5 is also mind-blowing, with weather effects of light from fire and torches having the potential to look breathtaking. I hope Stronghold Unreal maintains the classic fast-paced combat that fans love from other games in the series. I hope Firefly don't try to make it over-complex and stick to the tried and tested Stronghold formula of having to micromanage units and instant unit production as long as the player has the resources. The fast-paced nature of combat in Stronghold is one of the key things that makes it a fun and unique RTS game, with no truer example of this being the fan-favourite Stronghold Crusader, where gameplay is the fastest in the series. And it is the game that introduced mercenaries for instant unit creation as long as the gold was available, avoiding all need for weapon production. No longer were players unable to rush their opponent from the start of the game, meaning players now always had to be on their toes. The micromanaging aspect of Stronghold is also something I rather like about the series, as I feel it makes siege warfare more tactical and creates very unique strategies to the Stronghold games. It also leads to the game being harder in general than other RTS games, where players really have to act quickly to overcome their opponents, being the quickest to react to any given situation. One of the defining elements of the Stronghold series is its humour and voice work, with peasants having quirky remarks and the AI lords being full of personality. It's part of what makes Stronghold feel so unique, and I hope Firefly recapture this magic for Stronghold Unreal. In recent games, the AI lords feel less dynamic, and the lively voice work of the past was dialed back. Peasants also have no quirky remarks in Stronghold Crusader 2, and it never felt like they could quite hit the same level of humour with games after Stronghold 2. Bringing these elements back and improving upon them, as well as introducing new and memorable characters for the AI lords in the game, will go a long way in making Stronghold Unreal feel authentic to the series' roots, and is something I really hope for, considering this has been one of the most disappointing aspects of modern Stronghold games for me. With peasants just not sounding as witty and funny, and AI lords' animations often freezing during taunts, and none of them sounding as menacing or having such memorable lines in the series as those in Stronghold 1 and Crusader. Also, please keep the Geordie archers and brutish oafish macemen. They're just brilliant in these games.
Me lord, we are on our way!
When it comes to the setting, I hope Firefly returns to the medieval European setting of Stronghold 1 and Stronghold 3. That dark gritty ambience, combined with the humour and exaggerated voice work, is what gives Stronghold its unique charm. Unreal Engine 5 could be ideal for creating a rich immersive environment needed for the medieval European setting. I can only imagine how great the snowy weather effects could look in Unreal Engine 5 compared to the desert-focused visuals of the Crusader games. In short, a blend of Stronghold 1's personality with Stronghold 2 and 3's in-depth castle management mechanics could be just the gameplay reboot the series needs. I'd love to see Firefly prioritise these aspects over the RTS element, as it feels like the focus has shifted more and more towards RTS since Stronghold 2 came out in 2005. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the more RTS focused games, but I think it is time for Firefly to truly go back to fleshing out the sim side of the game. If Firefly is watching this, take note, and for anyone else, thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Stronghold content.